Our next presenter is Dalton Miller from Boise State University.
All right. Chronic wounds, seen here on your left, are wounds that fail to heal for months to years from their initial onset. They affect more than 6.5 million Americans every single year, and their treatment costs northwards of $50 billion annually. Now, obviously, that's very expensive, right? That's a lot of money. But what's significantly more costly than that is the amount of pain and suffering that people with these wounds have to go through. You see, once a week, the patients will go into a wound care facility where a doctor will unwrap their wound, snag a bottle of antiseptic, and vigorously scrub out the wound site. This is to kill any bacteria or fungi present that could cause an infection, but well, as you may imagine, in scrubbing an open wound, that's a very painful medical procedure, to say the least. Now, after this, the doctor will trim any dead tissue from the wound site, rinse the wound out, wrap it back up, give the patient a pat on the back and say, well, we'll see you in a week. Hopefully that will heal. Of course, the doctor can't actually say when or even if the wound will heal. I don't think that any of you here today would describe that procedure as ideal, effective, or even particularly good. And it's to that end that we're working on a new method for treating chronic wounds. It uses an ionized gas, also called a plasma, which you can see here on your right. And it works by generating a large variety of highly reactive molecules that serve two basic functions. The first of those functions is sterilization. The molecules have the capacity to kill bacteria and fungi in the wound site, but because we're using a gas rather than the more traditional liquid, no vigorous, painful scrubbing is necessary. Now, the second of these two functions is in wound healing signaling. As an example here, if you get a cut on the back of your hand, your body will begin producing these exact same molecules to tell the cells around the wound to begin healing the wound. By introducing these molecules directly to the wound site, we can speed up the rate of wound healing simply by telling the patient's own body to heal the wound faster. Now, right now, we're testing in pig wounds just to examine safety and efficacy, but our initial results are quite promising. In as little as a 10-minute treatment, which is shorter than it often is to scrub out these wounds, we're seeing good sterilization and no damage to the pig tissue. We hope that eventually this will be used clinically, both to decrease the amount of pain associated with having a chronic wound, as well as, more importantly, to increase the rate of wound healing so that we can give these patients their lives back. Thank you. All right, I am now ready for Q&A.
I'm not that hard on you. But one question that came to my mind when you're doing the experimenting on the pigs is, have you come up with any idea of how much faster it does heal?
So we haven't yet, no. For studies like that, we're going to need to have longer examination periods, and we simply haven't been at this for long enough to get a good sense of that yet.
Right.
We've been more focused first on whether or not it's actually going to, work to sterilize anything. That was the aspect that we thought was most promising and most easily studied, and so we began with that.
So, and what's your major?
Chemistry. I don't know more broadly than that. I do a lot of biochemistry, so probably that.
And are you from Idaho? Or are you?
I am. Well, okay. Technically, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, but I only lived there till I was 3.5, so I don't think that counts. And since then, I've lived here, so yeah.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.